Peace for Ukraine or Ureign now. Russia, just go home.
Warning: sensitive images.
I did not really want to talk about this, about the people in the war, especially the aggressor of the war, because of the karma involved, which is definitely not good for me. But I cannot tell my heart not to. You see, this is for the people who love Mr. Prigozhin, if I pronounce the name correctly, the Wagner chief of mercenaries for the war in Ukraine. You see, I feel sorry for him, for his soul, because he wasn't really a bad person. He doesn't have a truly bad heart. Now, if all of you really like him, love him, or feel sorry for him, please pray for him. Within 49 days, if you find good people, or you find goodness and love in your heart to pray for anybody who you know, that person will be helped. He died tragically, horribly, from the betrayal of the one that he trusted. So this is a terrible, terrible thing that happened to somebody who was just being loyal and devoted to his boss and his country. In a way, his tragic death should be a wake-up call to all of the Russian, military leaders and their soldiers, because he's not the only one that died like that. The Kremlin has killed numerous of them already. Now, all the leaders of the world should wake up and help Ukraine to somehow eliminate this war. And all the world leaders should see this as a lesson. It should shake you to your core to wake up and know that supporting this brutal regime like the Kremlin or Putin is bringing no peace on earth, no peace into your heart.
Please continue watching to find out more. While still in her intensive meditation retreat for the world on Tuesday, August 29th, 2023, our most compassionate Supreme Master Ching Hai, vegan, graciously offered her valuable insights and advice concerning the news of the passing of Yevgeny Prigozhin, leader of the private Russian military company Wagner Group, used by the Kremlin in their invasion of Ukraine or Ureign.
I did not really want to talk about this, about the people in the war, especially the aggressor of the war, because of the karma involved, which is definitely not good for me. But I cannot tell my heart not to. You see, this is for the people who love Mr. Prigozhin, if I pronounce the name correctly, the Wagner chief of mercenaries for the war in Ukraine. You see, I feel sorry for him, for his soul, because he wasn't really a bad person. He doesn't have a truly bad heart, but he was pushed into the position to work for Putin, and the influence of the demon and his position of work forced him to do what he did for the Kremlin. Anyway, so this is what it is. I want to tell you something. You, the relatives, friends, fans, and supporters of Mr. Prigozhin, listen well. In the world after our world, after you die, anyone dies, mostly anyone, even the worst criminals, do have some justice, measure out for them. Just say for Mr. Prigozhin, because there's a little spark of good in him. So he will have 49 days after his death to be put in a special unit. While still on earth, he did some quiet charity and some other good deeds.
Много не бухай, наркотики не употребляй, баб не насилуй, да, не бедокурим, значит, и ни грабь, не воруй.
Давайте прекратим эти бесконечные истории о том, какие они, обосранные трусы, как они все разбегаются. Они не разбегаются, они воюют, они стоят, насмерть там, где это нужно стоять, и ведут себя абсолютно достойно.
Война была нужна не для того, чтобы вернуть в наше лоно российских граждан, и не для того, чтобы демилитаризировать и денацифицировать Украину.
И нашим решением развернуться были два важнейших фактора. Первый фактор – это то, что мы не хотели пролить русскую кровь. Второй фактор – мы шли для демонстрации своего протеста, а не для свержения власти в стране.
It's not freedom and a lovely mansion or paradise. It's in hell still, but he's not punished or judged yet. Mainly because there are many people who are waiting trial for different reasons. So he is still in the state of so-called limbo, waiting for trial. He still has 43 more days until he really gets the verdict from the court in the netherworld. 49 days is for any complaint, any appeal, or any prayers for that particular person who just left the physical world. Any person has 49 days of chances to better her lot. 49 days is only for those who have no merit or are deemed to be fit in hell. The people with great merit, virtuous lifestyle, while they were still living, or they have a master, will go to heaven. Those who have a master, the master will come and get them at the time of their departure. If you have a master, then he will come to get you at the time of departure, and you will go with him to whatever level you earn on earth. And of course, it depends on what level your master has attained. You should find a master. Please check out if they are worthy of your trust first. In India, it's tradition that you should have a master. Anyone who doesn't have a master, other people tend to look down upon them. The master is the one who has enough power to liberate you from the circle of life and death forever, and gives you the proof of their power at the time of acceptance. So you study well before you pick out one for yourself. My best of luck wishes to all of you for your peace, happiness, and liberation. May God bless you so. Now, if all of you really like him, love him, or feel sorry for him, please pray for him.
Who knew Wagner mercenaries had a heart? But the death of Yevgeny Prigozhin and his comrade Dmitry Utkin has cut them deep. They laid red carnations outside the Wagner headquarters in St. Petersburg, where Prigozhin grew up.
It feels like losing a father. He was everything to us. We were always waiting for a word from him. Our Uncle Zhenya.
Within 49 days, if you find good people, or you find goodness and love in your heart to pray for anybody who you know, that person will be helped. Maybe not a lot, because of his bad karma, but it helps somehow. Well, you can try and hope. With God's grace, who knows? At least he will not be punished so severely. If he will be punished by the verdict, then he will be chased day and night, every nanosecond of his life in hell by people who shoot him, who stab him, who cut his limbs and all that. Everywhere he goes. He doesn't have to be in one place. He can run forever, but he can never hide. And people whom he has been involved in killing, maiming, or hurting in any way will have the right to chase him and punish him forever like that. I did not want to talk about this, but I toss and turn and I don't have the heart to just keep quiet. So please, do what you can to pray for him, help him. Put some of his possessions, or all of his possessions, into charitable work to help others, especially the victims of the war. Then maybe that will balance out a little bit of what he has done. Even though his heart did not want to kill people, he had to, because of the influence of Putin's, Kremlin's demons, big demons, and also because of his position. They asked him for something and he was just maybe too clever, and he knew how to make a strategy for them, so they kept pushing him to give more and more advice. That's how the war kept getting bigger and bigger. And he devoted himself to his boss for whatever cause for his country. But he died tragically, horribly, from the betrayal of the one that he trusted. So this is a terrible, terrible thing that happened to somebody who was just being loyal and devoted to his boss and his country. In a way, his tragic death should be a wake-up call to all of the Russian, military leaders and their soldiers, because he's not the only one that died like that. The Kremlin has killed numerous of them already. Some you know, some you don't. So many generals died mysteriously. So many rich persons who have helped contribute to the Kremlin and Russia have died mysteriously, and this will continue as long as the Kremlin still has some power. And how many beautiful, handsome young men and young women already died in Ukraine for the cause that they did not really want to support. How many people have been jailed already in Russia because of protesting the war. It's not that the whole world protests the war in Ukraine, protests the unjustified Russian war in Ukraine, but the Russian people themselves also know that it's not good at all. Either they flee it, they protest it, or they are jailed, or they are poisoned, or they are killed, or they are pushed off many-story buildings, or even died just in the sea, or in the boat, or from an airplane, or in a hotel room, or from anywhere at all. Even in their gym. So now, I don't know how the Kremlin has still such a grip on the people of Russia due to an iron fist policy or something, or also the force of demons, of Maya. Now we have less and less already, but still there are some powerful enemies of heavens and of the people here on the planet is still existing in human form. That is a big hurdle for any of us who want to create peace and a vegan paradise on the planet. to help us to live in harmony, happiness, guilt-free, happy conscience, and contented lives with everything we need that God has provided since time that we know. It is also a big hurdle for me and my peace troops. I have many peace troops, not just one. One of them is executed by some of my senior disciples, and many more are in different categories and different functions, either created or already existing. It's a big hurdle for me that humans have not cooperated in creating a vegan paradise world for all to live in. The killing karma of animal people, millions even every hour, is a big obstacle for me and my peace troops. But what more can I do? What can I do in a world where good leaders such as President Trump is still persecuted in lengthy legal court cases for anything at all, from false accusations to whatever can be fabricated or imagined, etc., to hurt the man, to hinder him in the political arena, just to trample upon a good person, to grab more power for themselves. I keep telling everyone, doesn't look like many listen. I'm very sad, very sad. I did not want to interfere anymore. But my heart just cannot bear it. I just don't have the heart to ignore your plight and the plight of the suffering in an agonizing situation like the animal people and the forest trees. Some are so ancient and so beneficial to our world and are still being killed, cut down, murdered, or tortured every day. All of the beings on this planet. It's like cutting my heart. I'm just doing my best and praying for all of you that you will wake up and trying to eliminate as many demons as possible by making peace with them if they do want, or like defeat them or corner them somewhere. Still, the karma of humans is the biggest ever hurdle in my work. Although I have the support of all heavens, saints and sages, and all the spiritual and vegan people, the karma of humans has accumulated from so long, we cannot remember. And it is a big mountain to climb. I just hope that you really realize that saving the animal people from death and agonizing torture daily is to save your soul and your relatives, your friends, and all your loved ones. I just hope that somehow God will grace you to realize that, and you should stop eating that bloody flesh of another living being. You cannot take a life to keep your life. As you sow, so shall you reap. Even if you have had enough merit from past lives or for doing some charitable work, the debt, the blood debt, you still must pay. Maybe less or more according to your merit as well, of course. But pay you must, either now or in the hereafter life. Nothing escapes from the justice of the universe, of the lower universe. Only if you can lift yourself up above the lower universe, like the disciples of masters in the past and present, then you will be free. After you leave this world, you will be free forever. Otherwise, you have to come back again to pay for it, or you have to pay in more agonizing ways in hell, by being stabbed, being cut, being chopped, tongues or fingers all over, everywhere, every minute or second of your life, until you pay all the debt, and God knows when. Depends on how many animal people you have to kill to eat. That's how long you will be punished. But the interest rate is very high. It's not just like you kill 100 animal people, then you just pay for that. Oh, that's not enough. The system of the illusion is very, very harsh, very cruel. Crueler than the way you're cruel to the animal people on this planet, to eat their flesh, to kill them in an agonizing way and heartless way. Just because you buy the piece of clean-cut animal people meat in the supermarket, you don't see the connection between that and a living, breathing, walking, loving beings as a cow, a pig, chicken, turkey, rabbit, person, etc. I don't know if I have any more tears to cry for you and other beings on this planet. Sometimes I just wish to go, so I don't have to witness it anymore. But I don't have the heart to do that, so I still continue to stay here trying to help you. Each one of you is very dear to me. Each one of you, if you fall in hell in agony, it agonizes my heart also. Because I'm with you. I'm inside you as well. That's the way I feel. That's the way my status is. Now, all the leaders of the world should wake up and help Ukraine to somehow eliminate this war, somehow make peace with Russia, but not sacrifice the Ukrainian lives or properties, because that's not just. That will be encouraging the predator to be more aggressive, to be more grabbing, and to harm other innocent people, including women, children, in different ways, in horrible, inhumane ways that we cannot imagine any war would be. You can see that even being loyal and helpful, or admiring a dictator, a killer, a murderer, a monster like the Kremlin does not guarantee your safety. I hope you know that by now, all the leaders of the world, and no longer support that system, no longer support so-called Putin. I don't know why the generals, the majors, the chiefs of the armies and the soldiers themselves still continue to fight in Ukraine. You should all surrender to the Ukrainian authority. Save your own lives for your families, your wives, your children, your parents, your friends waiting for you at home. You should just give up. You should just go to the authority and surrender yourself. Don't kill others. Don't kill yourself for this meaningless, cruel, unjustified war. Please. Please think about it. Who can be more powerful than Mr. Prigozhin, the Wagner chief of mercenaries? You know him. Who can be more helpful to the Kremlin than he was? Who can be more loyal to Putin or the Kremlin system than Mr. Prigozhin?
Он был талантливый человек, талантливый бизнесмен. Работал не только у нас в стране, и с результатом работал, но и за границей, в Африке в частности.
Still, they betrayed him and killed him without blinking an eye.
Simply put, you would not want to have bad blood with Putin. There is a pattern here. Whoever ends up on his bad side is murdered, poisoned, or imprisoned. Yevgeny Prigozhin seems to be the latest example. While the plane crash is a first, Putin's tendency to end his enemies is not. Prigozhin's death is mysterious but not surprising. He was on borrowed time, and that time has run out.
And still, hypocritically wrote a condolence letter or whatnot to his loved ones.
Today, Putin absurdly sent condolences to the man he's suspected of blowing out of the sky.
Nothing can bring him back. Nothing. And he has no chance now even to repent his bad deeds in supporting Putin, nor to even turn around to ask God's forgiveness. He had no chance to ask God's forgiveness when he died suddenly like that on the plane even. So please, whoever is related to him or likes him, loves him, you all together, find some way to find some virtuous priests or monks or nuns to pray for him. For all these 43 days that are left, that will elevate his status and lessen his suffering in hell. That's all you should do for him, not crying. And all the world leaders should see this as a lesson. It should shake you to your core to wake up and know that supporting this brutal regime like the Kremlin or Putin is bringing no peace on earth, no peace into your heart. It's not about giving up a piece of land. I told you in the beginning already. What is a piece of land or many pieces of land anyway? It's just how the person who occupies it will treat it and treat the beings who live in it. Russia has been harassing, warring, and oppressing Ukraine for many decades, not just this time, and killing millions of people by starving them to death, by driving them out of their land to some remote and bitterly cold weather without any instruments for them to do anything to survive as well. And take their harvest, take whatever they have worked hard for to feed themselves instead of letting them enjoy their labor. The Ukrainian people, they're diligent. They are the 5th grain supplier in the world. They nourish millions of people around our planet. They work hard for their harvest, and they're experts in that. You eat their grains, you use their oil, you use their other farm products. You must be grateful to them, even if you pay for it. Money cannot always pay for things. As you know by now, even Russia tried to stop Ukraine's grain export by oppressing or harassing other countries, and Ukraine, of course. And they have been raping their women, children, babies even, and killing anyone that they can. So even if you try to support the Kremlin, you will not be safe either. You never know when their spies come and kill you. Even their most powerful people, the richest and the most friendly to the Kremlin, met terrible, horrible deaths. You know it by now. You look on our Supreme Master television show and you see how many have been reported.
It's been reported that the Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich and 2 Ukrainians have suffered a suspected chemical poisoning after peace talks over the war in Ukraine.
A Russian politician has been found dead after a mysterious fall from a hotel.
Within the span of 24 hours this week, 2 wealthy former Russian gas executives found dead with their families.
23 oligarchs have died in the past 12 months, some killed with their entire families. All had access to large sums of a dwindling resource in Russia, money. Being friends with Putin doesn't make you untouchable either. Vladimir Sungorkin was a key ally of Putin and editor-in-chief of a major newspaper that supports him. He died on a business trip through Russia's east. Oil baron Alexander Subotin died after being administered toad venom.
Of course, the Kremlin denies any connection to any crime. But exiled, jailed, poisoned or killed is how so many seem to end.
etc. Of course, you know it because the reports are in the news, but still, you sometimes don't have time to read all that, and you just see it's one person die here, one person die there, but if you group them together, oh, it's enormous numbers. I don't know how many generals or majors or soldiers, why do they still trust the Kremlin and fight to their death like this? They put them in harm's way for no reason, killing them en masse every day. Even the day before or yesterday, just in a few hours, hundreds of Russian soldiers died, just like that. And many more die soon. My heart can never feel peaceful, knowing that people are dying for nothing. And the brutal regime is not even grateful for them. And they're murdered if suspected of disloyalty. Please don't let them die for nothing. Their families, their wives, their kids, and their friends sacrifice them. And they're wrenching their hearts because of their death.
The funerals are happening every day now. Burial notices, though, kept under wraps. Relatives ordered to keep quiet. The freshly bereaved desperately sad and desperately angry. But we do find the occasional glimpse of honesty. People are dying for nothing, only because of one fool, this woman says.
Треба, звичайно, пам'ятати завжди, згадувати про них, бо вони не пожаліли свого життя і пішли такі молоді, красиві, які могли б ще жити і багато створити для нашої держави. Але полягли ціною свого життя для того, щоб жили ми, і країна наша була незалежна.
You should save your life for your country, even if not for yourself. You should live for your country, not die for a crazy, demonic person or policy. You should do some more greater things with your life if you are alive, not just waste your precious existence just to go out and kill or do harm in any way to innocent others, not just harming them, harming yourself, but tarnishing also your country's reputation. Live for Russia, not die for Kremlin. Please take good care. Try anyway to escape the war, to live for yourself, for your country, your family, your friends, your loved ones, and escape hell hereafter. You see, there is leniency in life. You can extend your life and minimize suffering by elements or illnesses and misfortune. If you are vegan and do good, of course, yes. If you are vegan, it's already good for you. There's also a leniency in hell. If you do good deeds while on earth, then your punishment will be less or zero accordingly. When you are in hell or in front of any judgment court, if they ask you if you want to enjoy your good deeds reward first or want to have punishment for your misdeeds first, for your bad deeds first, then you say, please, I would like to enjoy my reward for my good deeds first. Then if you're free from that court to go enjoy your reward for good deeds, so that you can be reborn again as human in a more favorable situation to continue to do good deeds. For example, or you might be able to go to heaven, some lower heavens or higher heavens accordingly. Mostly lower heavens, because the people who are virtuous or who practice spiritually will go direct to higher heavens. And if they have a master, then the master will come personally, bring them back home to a higher dimension in the universe, or to their own, world that they have created or their masters have created. Now, before you go and enjoy the reward of your good deeds, on your journey to enjoy that, you should pray fervently so that you meet a wise guide on the spiritual path, or wise, enlightened, virtuous master, so that you can meet them in your next existence. Then you will continue to be guided, you continue to have good teaching. Then that master or the wise guide will continue to lift you upward in your spiritual journey, so that you will never have to go back to hell to even receive any punishment anymore. Just go up and up to a higher dimension. Please remember that. After you die, if you see any court for your judgment, please remember, do some good things now and pray that your afterlife will be better than even this life, whatever your life now is. So that even if you are not all that good, or even you do some bad things out of ignorance, you still have these 49 days to repent. Promise to U-turn, or pray for yourself, or ask people, your friends, your relatives, the loved ones to pray for you. You see, if you do good deeds, the people who receive your good deeds will pray for you. Their souls will know when you left the world, and they pray for you. If you don't eat any meat, the animal people all will pray for you. That's why you have a lot of advantages. And then your soul will be rescued one way or another. That is the real benefit of being vegan and doing good deeds. And if you try to make peace in any way, of course, then the people who receive the benefit of peace, their souls will know, their souls will pray for you as well. So be vegan, make peace, do good deeds for your own sake. May God guide you, may God bless you, may God be lenient to your soul. Amen. Please don't let the dead people of Russia, of Ukraine, die for nothing. Try in different way to end it, please, all the leaders of the world. I trust you. And also make the world become a vegan world. That will save all of us from the horrible death that we don't deserve. God gives us so many things, day and night. Spring, summer, fall, winter, everything he gives all the time. We have more than enough to live in this world, on this planet, happily, peacefully together. Why does there have to be war? Why not speak? We have human language now. We are not in the Stone Age anymore. It's the 21st century, for God's sake. All of you are educated and taught in school how to behave as a human, how to appreciate all the knowledge that you learn and use it to invent more and more beautiful things to live a comfortable life. And the church, God, the Bibles of all different religions teach you to be compassionate, peaceful, loving, and kind toward each other. Why have you wasted all this money and time to learn all that and not use it? All the leaders should wake up by now. You might be targeted, even if you support the Kremlin. You can see it yourself. Putin, the Kremlin, tried to kill their own friends, even during peace talks. Not just killing the so-called enemy, but their own friends who tried to make peace for the Kremlin, for Russia, were being poisoned. Luckily, not dead. Maybe dead, or maybe will die somewhere soon, mysteriously, who knows. And I could be also one of those who mysteriously die someday, who knows. So many spies of Russia have been after me since the war began, since I opened my mouth and told the truth about how horrible war is, how forbidden it should be, and how much suffering it will cause to both sides even, not just the Ukrainian people. For reminding people on this planet of the true teaching of all the masters, I have to endure a lot all these years, like dodging spies, drug murderers, and whatnot. I love both people, Ukrainian and Russian, because they are innocent people. It's only the wicked, brutal, possessed demons like Putin who start this kind of war and continue without shame, without remorse. So you can see that they are not humans. They don't have human heart, intelligence, and IQ. They have no feelings for anybody. They are just demons in the form of humans for this kind of reason, to destroy humanity, to destroy our economy and all the comfort, peace, and safety of the world. Help Ukraine to eliminate this war in any way you can. In the beginning, all the way up to deeper into the war, the Kremlin occupied all this border from Crimea because they took Crimea and they used that as a base, as a stepping stone, and went more deep into Ukraine's different regions along the border of Russia. And they want to stretch it all the way to Belarus and then past Belarus and then all the way to cover all the border with Europe. You can see that. I don't have to be a war strategist to see it. I saw it on the map. And you see the brave Ukrainian soldiers and people are already taking back more than half of what Russia has occupied. Well, we thank God for that. And we are in debt to them. Because if they take all the border all the way to Belarus and continue, then they will have bases everywhere around the European border. And they will attack any European country anytime, easily, if they have bases already. And are prepared and equipped everywhere they want. Just they would attack one country after another in Europe, because they want to control all of Europe and the world as well, with the backing of their so-called allies. And you know what I mean now.
I think that if the West's response is not one of maximum sharpness and strength, then I think the European security order itself is at risk. Recall that Putin has previously said that the end of the Soviet Union was a tragedy for Russia, and that the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov recently said that after 1991, the demise of the Soviet Union, all the territories of the Warsaw Pact were orphan territories, quote unquote. All of this suggests that if Putin thought he could successfully swallow Ukraine, as it were, that he might feel that it could be possible militarily and politically to return current EU and NATO member states who were formerly part of the USSR, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, to Russia.
Сармат и все, были британские острова, нет
Но мы же
британских.
серьезные люди.
Не, а вот я и серьезно и говорю.
От Калининграда до Берлина 106 секунд, от Калининграда до Парижа 200 секунд. Вас интересует Лондон 202 секунд.
So thank God that Ukraine has pushed them all back, more than half, or maybe at least more or less half already, more. Half of the occupied territory has been reclaimed by the Ukrainian soldiers and people. And they had, in the beginning, very few weapons, outnumbered in manpower. And they still continued diligently, bravely to fight for their country, for Europe, and for the world. Also, I included a map from the beginning of the war until now to show you that the Ukrainians have pushed back the Russian force halfway already.
Blue region is the part of occupied Ukraine or Ureign territory by Russia in the beginning of the war, reclaimed by Ukraine's or Ureign's forces. Red region is still occupied by Russia, but Ukraine or Ureign is still continuing to push Russia out of their land in a counter-offensive.
So hopefully they will push Russian soldiers all the way back to their own home, thus giving the Ukrainian people their deserved peace, even though a broken homeland, but they will rebuild it again. Also securing the safety and peace of European countries as well as the world. You, the big leaders of the world, should be grateful to them, should bow your head in respect and admiration, and honor them with your support in any way you can. That's the way humans should be. Not betraying them, turning your back on them and saying things to discourage them or to, weaken their morale to fight for their own freedom and safety. If Russia occupies their country, maybe they will just continue to harass, molest, jail, beat, cut their fingers, cut their tongues, beat their limbs up, or cut their heads, or just throw them in mass graves, because they will not forgive any of these Ukrainian people, because they will suspect all the Ukrainian people that come back and live there as if they are opposite to their rule. So more Ukrainians will die, even if you give the land to them, even if you surrender all the country of Ukraine to them. The Kremlin system will not treat them nicely or kindly.
Kremlin-backed forces seized control of his southern Ukrainian hometown of Kherson in the early days of its invasion. Since then, Moscow's grip on the city of nearly 300,000 has only tightened, with Kherson now an oppressive dystopia where allegations of torture and disappearances are widespread. You feel constantly under threat that Russians will come and take you away, he says. A bunch of volunteers in the city were already taken by the Russians, and we don't know what happened to them.
63 bodies of civilians with signs of torture have been found in areas of the Kherson region, recaptured from the Russians after 8 months of occupation. Residents who fled also reported killings and other abuses.
My colleague was tortured to death.
He was taken on the 1st of November, and on the 9th, when they started retreating, they threw his body in the dump. His hands were burned, his arms and legs were broken. I don't understand such a cruelty.
They have found several what they describe as illegal prisons and torture chambers, which they say were used by the Russians on people who had protested against their occupation or people who had connections to the Ukrainian military.
And they will have a bigger base than Belarus, and they will invade your country in no time. You don't have to be smart to understand this. You can see it on the map. You can see their intention, laid bare openly, obviously. Unless you have an IQ of a stone, you would understand the situation and what I'm talking about. So please wake up. No more suggesting the way to make peace is by giving up land to the Kremlin or demoralizing the spirit of fighters in Ukraine. May God bless you all. May God bless us. May God grace us with the word vegan so that the world will know lasting peace. I am doing all I can, but I need all your help, all of you. Please help. Help me, help heaven. Have your conscience stay clear of any guilty deeds, of any murderous actions, of any agreements or supporting of any brutal deeds. Please help me. May God bless you. May God bless me. May God bless all of us. Amen. Please, God, help us. Bless you also, my Lord. For you must feel very painful seeing your children are being molested, murdered, and oppressed all this while. One war after another, and the humans still don't learn. Please enlighten them. Please lift them up to a higher consciousness. Please tell me what else I can do to help your children, please. I love you, my Lord. Many of us still love you. They are just blindfolded. They are just being muffed. They're just being poisoned and being made into, like zombies in a way so that they cannot think, they cannot act for themselves. Please help us. Please help us. My dear Lord, I'd do anything else you want. Please. Okay. I say so long for now. I love all of you. Please take good care of yourselves. There are so many diseases nowadays. So please wear your mask and cover your nose as well. Wear glasses. Wear go-go glasses when you go out. Try not to be so close to other people if you don't know them, in case they might have an infection. And might pass it on to you, and then you pass on your children, your husband, your wife at home. It's not nice. Please take good care of yourself, okay? Please. No matter who says what, please take good care of yourself. Mask on, put go-go glasses on, cover as much as you can. Eat cooked food, okay? If you really like raw, please wash very, very well, many times. Soak it for a long time in disinfecting water, in a solution that they sell somewhere in the pharmacy or supermarket, or soak in salt for 5-10 minutes and then rinse many times in clean water. Please wear gloves also when you go out. Please don't scratch yourself from head to toe when you're outside until you come home and wash first. Use a stick or something to scratch if you need. Please, 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 Take care of yourself until you find a way to lift yourself up. Or find some master who has power to help you. I don't mean you have to come to me. No, it's not like that. I truly love you unconditionally. I want to help you very much, but not for my gain. I hope you know it. I hope God makes you know it. Thank you very much. And I love you, all of you. Humans, animals, people, trees and all beings alike. I love you.
With God's boundless grace, we are forever grateful to have most merciful Master's guidance and protection while on our earth journey and beyond. Your loving help and consideration for the well-being of all beautiful souls on this planet is a true heavenly gift that we wish for all humankind to completely embrace. Our prayers are for a fully realized, peaceful vegan world, which will grant our lives an open horizon of a fantastically bright and splendid future with the Divine's assistance. May cherished Master enjoy lasting health and security supported by all cosmic beings. Please tune in for the broadcast of Supreme Master Ching Hai's message, with more subtitles on Thursday, September 7th, 2023, on Between Master and Disciples. Also for your reference, please check out the previous related Between Master and Disciples messages and conferences, such as Wolves in Sheep's Clothing, Beware of Supporting the Kremlin. Governments worldwide must stand with Ukraine or Ureign. Powerful countries must be courageous and help Ukraine or Ureign. Supreme Master Ching Hai's thoughts on the urgent situation in Ukraine or Ureign. The world left Ukraine or Ureign to fight alone. Big powers did not keep their promise to Ukraine or Ureign, etc. To view these and more related Between Master and Disciples conferences, all free for download, please visit suprememastertv.com and search for Wake Up Call.